Okay, let's see if we finish this soon. Because, hey, this guy's annoying, and besides, to add insult to injury, we have the fuckers across the street with their hymns. They're supposed to be Pokaitsi. I'm not sure, Jehovah's Witnesses, some fucking sect or other. The problem being not that they believe in this or some other shit, but that they still, I mean, finding God, resurrection, whatever, bliss, and the other world, kindness, loving thy neighbor, and all that crap. I'm just being facetious and mean and ironic and motherfucker myself. So instead of enjoying all that for themselves, they're just annoying others. I mean, this should be for them to hear, not for me to pack up and go inside. Even if maybe I want to enjoy the sun, the September sun, in some kind of silence. So, this is why we had the revolution. In the previous episodes, we talked about the revolution and going through the airport, the tourist office, the Roman Square, where we've been heroes. That's why we're so irritated now, easily annoyed, because we fought for freedom. So I met Uncle Mars from Newsweek. He put me in there. In fact, come to think of it, I should try and create some episodes on this and try and find and remember more and talk more about this, because that's relevant. Otherwise, life with two birds, garden, annoying neighbors, that's millions, hundreds of millions of people have this issue, and some have it so much worse. I mean, I have this garden, this nice house. These are poor deplorables, to quote Hillary Clinton. Termina, who said it very well. I agree 100% with her. Those who voted for Trump and still think about it, I mean, are sure many are deplorables. Let's get back to our story. Revenons à nos moutons. Where is this other guy? Here. He's the dangerous one. We have to keep an eye on him. He's the replica of the annoyance coming from here to meet the annoyance from there. So, termina! I said Time magazine, and James Wild, wonderful. I wonder if he's still alive. He was 70 something. He will have to be 100, I'd say, today. Anyway, went with him to Kodabica, to his house near Rossetti, where he had already some daughters, a couple. He would have 3, I think, at one point, and he would separate. He became quite a figure, and I would meet him again later. Maybe I mention him more at that stage. We met some other interesting figures. I don't know if Tănase, Stelian Tănase, was now included in the schedule. He would be a bit later, and it was some arrogant figure with sunglasses in the dark, inside in the office. There were some musicians and producers we met not far from the Roman Square. I think I see the face of one, but I don't know his name, and I don't really think it so important. Voi termină, if at all. And as I said, James Wilde made some predictions which would prove so accurate, prophetic about the Fesane and the other things. And an important thing, I changed the life of someone, at least. Mihai Radu, we're friends on Facebook. Not that this means anything anymore. He had his birthday recently. I said, happy birthday. He said, thank you, or gave a like to my comment, and that's about it. That's about all we say to each other now. But we met on the subway. I was going home, working for James Wilde. I still think it was surely the early days. Later on I would change. Bă, ce vrei să mă enervezi? Nu destul îmi bagă ăștia imnuri tâmpite? Ia vezi! So, in the subway, saw him. We used to be at the same high school. I think it was Mate Fizică 3. Not Mihai Viteazu, Michael the Brave. And he was a goalkeeper. He was 1 year older. And I was the substitute goalkeeper at one point for a sort of a team of not the whole high school, or maybe the younger, the first 2 classes, whatever it was. There was some association there, some brief encounter. And then when I see him, how are you? Fine, how are you? Look, you have to come with the Intercontinental. No way, man. There is work there. I don't care, they're shooting. It was a period when we didn't know what's going on. Most of us, I guess, maybe I started having doubts as prompted by James Wilde from Time magazine. But still thought maybe there are some elements trying to shoot and keep Ceausescu or keep their privileges or something. The fact is they were shooting. In fact, whoever, army against the army, or it looked random. I mentioned the fact that we've stood up in the what is today Revolution Square and realized that in fact nobody seems to shoot down at us. Dă-i mai încet să o auzi tu muzica aia, nu mi-o pune și mie. Dă-i mai încet puțin. Că... Taci mai și tu. Okay, we had an interlude. Because then I would speak for nothing. You wouldn't hear me, you would hear something that you want to hear me. It's so important. So, ia vezi că încurci. Spun furtuna acum. You had a revolution here, or a counter-revolution. Not live, because this will be posted only soon, but we changed to make it more exciting. They were going to take overthrow the dictator. So it was a counter-revolution. Somewhat over the nose, because then I asked for silence, or, well, less loud music, and then I put screams from here. It's not fair. I have to keep things decent. Don't disturb me, so I don't disturb you. Okay. So yeah, and I was insisting. Look, there's money. There's You can make $50, $100. In fact, there were some days when I made over $100, but that was rare. I was working for a guy from Norwegian Helsingin Sanomat, a newspaper for Helsinki. Let's stay with us. And I insisted, and he said no because it's dangerous. And I insisted, well, that's a unique opportunity. Think about it. He kept saying no. Finally, he said okay, came to the Intercontinental, worked there. We worked together. That's for tomorrow, I guess. And this would change his life because whatever he was going to do, be an engineer, I don't know what he was graduating. He, in the end, after arguing with me, after him saying no, there's no way, it's the shooting, I don't want to die, man, and me saying, well, you should. I mean, it's not. I mean, you don't die in the Intercontinental. And whatever I was saying, I convinced him, and this changed his life. Because while I would stop quite soon, I mean, in the summer, it was finished for me with this media thing, working for journalists and doing things for them. He would carry on. And he would work as an interpreter, as a journalist. Journalists help whenever they came from London, and eventually I think he became a freelance of sorts. I saw him in a documentary made by Discovery about the changes, the revolution, the changes here, and he was giving his insight. Because indeed he would work from 1990 to this day, maybe, as a sort of a journalist, I think, now. Is a correspondent with sources, as a freelance or, I don't know, employed. Maybe I should check his status on Facebook to see what he has there as a employment occupation. So tomorrow we'll talk about him working with me, yours truly. He landed London Times, and that was in a way the luck. That's the other reason why my discussion, which I'm convinced changed his life. I mean, without meeting him, which is not so. I mean, we meet various people along the way, and they change our life. That's the way it works. So the other important factor was, maybe more important, that he had the chance to work with the London Times. If he were in my place and if we were to have him working for Radio Sweden as I did, and me it would be a change of roles, reverses of fortune. Maybe I would be a journalist today, and he would be doing whatever else he would have without meeting me. So yeah, well, that was an interesting encounter.